Yesterday I came across a video of a guy that had been training for like 11 years and he had an incredible physique. 200 and I think it was 73,000 followers on TikTok, and then on Instagram he had around 70,000 followers. And what he had shared really shocked me. So this guy like clearly knew exactly how to bodybuild to the maximum, okay? Absolutely jacked. But what I found was that he just wasn't earning anywhere near to the amount that he should be earning. It doesn't matter your level of skill at something if you haven't mastered sales, if you haven't got your sales to the point where you can charge people the amount that you're worth, right? And I've seen this happen so much where fitness coaches are just like underselling themselves. He literally told his audience that he was charging a monthly rate of 200 USD, and he was in a way kind of begging his audience to buy his program because, you know, he's struggling right now, even with his followers, even with everything that he's built over the last 11 years, his physique and all of that. I say all this to really get you guys to understand that it doesn't matter how much you're putting yourself out there online if you don't really know how to convert all of the traffic that you are getting. He was struggling to make ends meet because he didn't master the art of sales. So the first big mistake that I see fitness coaches make, like in their sales calls specifically, is selling the vehicle and not the end destination, right? Or the end outcome, which really looks like, you know, telling them, hey, I'm going to be checking in on you, I'm going to be giving you a meal plan, I'm going to be giving you a workout plan. All of that stuff is completely irrelevant to the person, right? They just care about, okay, well, am I going to get jacked? Am I going to lose the weight? Like, I just want to get rid of this stuff, right? It just sounds like a headache, right? Nobody wants to have someone check in on them every few days, or like, nobody cares about that stuff. What they care is, okay, am I going to get from where I am right now to where I want to be? Then the other thing is really going deeper on their answers. So when you ask a question and a prospect answers that question, a lot of the time they're going to give you a surface level answer. They're just going to say, yeah, you know, I want to get fit because I want to be in shape, right? Like, I want to improve my confidence. What exactly do they mean by their confidence, right? What does that actually look like? Because confidence in of itself isn't descriptive enough for you to understand what's actually going on. And that's important because a lot of these people, like, they believe they have low confidence. They believe that, you know, they don't like the way that they look. But what exactly does confidence look like to them? How does it show up in their life? And then also, I think it's just about going layers deeper, right? Because it's very easy to just stay surface level with them and then pitch them your program and pitch them your price because you're all excited. That's not the point. The point is to really get them crystal clear on the burning problem that they have and help them face that, right? That is your job as a coach. So the other thing that I've noticed is people don't speak from abundance. They speak from a place of neediness, thinking that, you know, this person's got some money and I want to close them because I want to, you know, make more money. But it's not about that, right? If you come from a place of abundance, you come from a place of, well, dude, like, you have money, everyone's got money, yeah? I have something that not everyone has. So you're coming from a position of power. You're coming from a position of knowing that, well, I can get money from anywhere, right? You are just one of many. I am one of one. And so remembering that and positioning yourself as that authority in the conversation is really gonna transform the way that your calls go, because I see this a lot. People will pitch their price and then they'll kind of get antsy and they won't say it with conviction, and then as soon as they give an objection, they're very quick to reply like some kind of rebuttal, or, You know, why? Like, and then finally, the last thing is taking advantage of the fact that you are a leader. So lead, right? Like, if you can't help the prospect overcome their limiting beliefs, overcome their own excuses on the sales call, how can you expect them to trust and believe that when they're in your program, you're going to be able to hold them accountable? Because accountability, right, is the biggest reason why someone hires you as a fitness coach. And if they believe that they can just walk all over you and you're never going to bring up anything that, you know, is just bleedingly obvious to bring up, and you're just going to kind of scoot over it and move on, then why would they now hire you? So on the sales call, it's super, super important to show that you are not going to let them continue making those excuses, and you're actually going to help them overcome their beliefs. So those are the biggest things that really come to mind right now that you guys need to start helping people overcome when it comes to these sales calls and actually making more money. And you know what, like, people get lazy, right? They think, oh, well, I'm just going to outsource this. I'm going to hire a setter. I'm going to hire someone to close for me, right? Without doing it themselves, because they're lazy. They don't want to face the fact that they haven't learned the right skills. They haven't got themselves in the position to really transform their life. And so they get held back. So early on, as a fitness coach, I realized that there are really 3 skills that you absolutely need to have to be a successful online fitness coach. Those 3 skills are marketing, right? Delivery, and sales. Which of these 3 skills are the most important for me to master right now? For me to make the most amount of money in the quickest time possible? And that for me was sales. If I can master the sales call itself, getting someone to give me their money, if I can master that, then everything else doesn't really matter that much, right? So that is what I did. I focused my energy on just mastering it. What that meant was that I didn't need to have like a ton of calls. I didn't need to market that much. All I really needed to do was just figure out how exactly to get someone to hand over their money to me, how to show up as a leader, how to overcome like pre-objections, and how to get someone to fully open up, right? And when you can show up as that leader for someone and help them overcome all of their limiting beliefs and reasons why they shouldn't do this, that then opens up way more opportunity for you than, you know, sitting there and just posting content endlessly and trying to, you know, put CTAs out. But if you want to maximize the amount that you're making, then the biggest lever is going to be the rate at which you're actually converting the leads. That is straight up the biggest lever. The other thing is going to be how much you're charging per client at each point. The reason why this guy was staying broke on Instagram is because he was charging a low priced ticket. He was charging his program at a low ticket of only $200 per month after getting on a call with someone, after speaking through their current situation, getting to the burning problem, getting them all the way to the point where they're ready to spend money with him, and then only pitching them $200, right? This person needs to be fully committed, fully all in. And they're not going to be fully bought in and fully committed if they're only putting down $200, right? In order for them to be fully committed, they have to be committing financially too. How do people grow? Is it when they're comfortable or when they're uncomfortable, right? If you truly care about helping this person, you're going to help this person do this financially to where, yeah, it's going to be a bit uncomfortable. It's going to be an uncomfortable investment right now, okay? But the person that they want to become, right? The person that they're trying to step into when they go through your program, that person has overcome all of the uncomfortable situations, all of the discomfort that they had to go through to become that version. They're not going to be able to get there if you're going to keep them comfortable. So you need to really help this person, get them to the point where, look, you can't be two people at the same time. You're either going to be comfortable, staying as you are, or you're going to be uncomfortable and you're going to become the version of you that you want to become. But you can't be two at the same time. Make the distinction for them. Help them realize you can't be two. You can only be one. All right, guys, if you want to take your sales to the next level, there is a link in the description where you can book in a call with me and I can really help coach you to get you to that next level, okay? If not, no worries at all, but if you're ready, if you feel like sales has really been holding you back and it's been the bottleneck for you, click the link, let's talk, all right? See you guys in the next video. I'm gonna be posting a lot more frequently on YouTube. I feel there's so much growth that can really come about on this platform, and I really hope that you guys are also taking advantage of that. So talk soon, guys.